Faculty, families, fellow graduates, and distinguished guests, the freshman 15 is not a myth. We are gathered here today to witness the joining together of these graduates with their diplomas in holy satisfaction. I take this responsibility very seriously because it truly is an honor. But I don't know how all of you are going to take me seriously standing here imparting wisdom with a cat toy hanging from my head. I decided an abundance of preparedness and effort would be best for this speech. I prepared the same way we would for unit tests and essays in high school. So late last night, I began. Our 4 years in high school was quite the experience. As we got closer and closer to our senior year, we began to get very excited to apply to post-secondary institutions or enter the world of work. Because that meant we were that much closer to getting out of this place. However, applying to college and university was almost as bad as Nickelback. Let me put it this way. Imagine proposing to the love of your life, only to hear back from them, let me get back to you in like 5 months. Graduates, the people we are now are individuals we could never have conjured back in grade 9. The dreams we have now will probably change much like our lives, but that's okay because they're supposed to, for change is the only constant. Don't let tunnel vision on a preset goal keep you from realizing your true course in life. We don't know what the future holds in store for us, and our vision for the future will not necessarily be our reality. There's a difference between the paths we intend to take in life and the paths we end up on. After all, it is our failure to become our perceived ideal that ultimately defines us and makes us unique. 4 years ago, I was someone who would have been considered least likely to be valedictorian. I coasted through life and I was at the bottom of my classes. I struggled to maintain passing grades and I had no real sense of direction. I realized I had 2 options. I could turn myself around and procure the benefits of an education in my future, or I could continue down that precarious path and choose to become a victim of society. So I turned myself around and worked extremely hard to get into university level streams where I continued to climb to the top of my classes. Today I am graduating with honors as valedictorian, attending university with hopes of pursuing medicine. No matter what difficulties or obstacles we may face, we can always overcome them. It's amazing what we can do with ambition and a purpose. Perhaps to give life meaning is the meaning of life. We all have the capacity to exude greatness, we just have to work very hard and we'll experience the fulfilled life as a gratifying byproduct. This means not wasting your valuable and precious time watching Netflix all day. I'm not going to waste my time, because if I was, I'd be following all of you on Instagram. But trust me, I would never ever do that to myself. We will undoubtedly experience existential anxiety at some point in our lives, but 2 of the most important days in one's life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. Following our heart and intuition will lead us to experience a true sense of direction in life because they already know who we're meant to be. The sad reality is that we'll move on and go our separate ways and may not stay in touch. Letting go of the friendships we've made and the people we've gotten to know will be hard, but the hardest part won't be letting go. The hardest part will be starting over. There will be times where life won't make sense. There will be times where we feel like giving up and you may think that losing all hope is freedom, but losing all hope isn't freedom, it's despair. We have to be greater than what we suffer. We will have bad times, but it'll always wake us up to the good stuff we weren't paying attention to. When we feel alone and lost when we can't afford to be, don't be afraid, because being lost can be a turning point into finding out who you truly are. Having the confidence to follow our hearts by believing that things will make sense at some point in the future may lead us on the road less traveled, but that will make all the difference. And on that note, if in 10 years from now you guys are still having beer pong tournaments, you chose the wrong road. I encourage everyone in this auditorium to not measure your life by what you've attained in terms of desires and materialism, but rather to measure your life by virtue, generosity, compassion, and self-sacrifice, because that's what matters. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. We are not born for ourselves alone. In the end, the only way we can measure the significance of our own lives is by valuing the lives of others. It is only when we stop being ignorant and start paying attention to the things that are happening all around us in the world that we realize we should be ashamed for complaining about some of the things we regularly complain about. So think about that the next time you go to tell everyone how slow your Wi-Fi is. Believe it or not, I went through high school without having internet, and so trust me, slow Wi-Fi is better than no Wi-Fi.
Hey.
But I know the struggle is real. The world mourns for you if that YouTube video of cats takes a few extra moments to load. Just kidding, absolutely no one cares. Life is too short to leave this establishment and take everything too seriously. We should live every day of our lives, but to live is the rarest thing in the world because most people just exist. Sure, we live only once, but if you do it right, once is enough. So everyone carpe the heck out of the DM because time is luck, and too soon it will all be over. It has been a crazy 4 years. I've made some hefty sacrifices and risks to get to where I am today, but embedded in those two words, sacrifice and risk, is the notion of a time where I'll know it was all worth it. Graduates, all of you were an important part of my journey through high school, and in each of your own little ways, you have helped shape me into who I am today. In that regard, we are all valedictorians. The only difference is that I get to put that on a resume for the rest of my life. Graduates, wherever your dreams take you, I wish you all the best of luck. In all of your future endeavors, just remember this. When you have one eye on the goal, you only have one eye on the path. Stay classy, thank you, and good night.